Hi everybody, this is Bonnie from Bonnie's Creative Place, and I am coming to you today with this cute little card that you can mail, and it opens up like this, and it's got a little where you'd write your stuff in the back, and I just absolutely loved it, and I thought I would share with you how I did it. First of all, I should let you know that you can get this set. It's in the new mini. It's called Storybook Moments, and it starts on page 22, and then it goes through onto page 25, and then there's just some other little tips and tricks they give you on page 26 and 27, and then some more on 28 and 29. So it's a pretty big suite. It's wonderful. I bought the paper and stuff out of the scrapbooking kit. So there is a scrapbooking kit that coordinates with this. So it's a little bit different. Some of the papers, not all of them, but just a couple of the papers, or maybe it's even the die cuts. That might be a little bit different. But otherwise that, everything's the same. It does have another stamp set that you can get, and I've gotten this and I've used it quite a few times. It's called Storybook Life, and it coordinates with this really good for Easter. So if that's something you guys are interested in and would like to purchase, the information is in the description box below. But we're going to be just working with the paper and these two stamp sets. Now this, I used all of the stamp set, but on this one I only used the couple bunnies, the spring, and the little wall here. So let's get started. Now there was a lot of coloring and die cutting and all that, and I did all of that off screen so that you guys did not have to wait for me to die cut and cut everything off the screen. Now this is an old, it's called a Z-fold. If you guys may have been familiar with that, I've done other cards in the past. This is a card that I keep with my little template here. I make a template. And so I've got my template here for my directions. The color that we are going to use is Crumb Cake. So for the base, our first cut, or score, I should say, I've already cut it. This is an 11 by 4 1/4. And our first score mark is going to be at a 2.5. So put this on 2.5, and we're going to score. And then we're going to scoot it over to 5.5, and we're going to score again. So there's our two score marks on the big piece. Now we have another piece, and this piece, let me open up my little cheat sheet here. This piece is an 11 by 1.5, and our first score is going to be at 2 3/4 right here, and then our next one is going to be at 5.5 right there. So those are our score marks for the little band. So let's put this off to the side. We don't need anything more from there. And we will put this up here. Now we need a piece for the back of the base of the card, which is Whisper White, which is going to be 5 1/4 by 4. And we also need a piece of Designer Series paper for the front. And then we need two other pieces of Designer Series paper, and these are both 2.5 by 4. Do you want to know what? I think I scored this at the wrong mark. I think I looked at the wrong number. Let me see. I did. I scored this at 2.5, and it was supposed to be scored at 2 3/4. So I will renumber these. Okay, so it's 5.5 and 2 3/4. Not 2.5, so 2 3/4. That little mark there is going to be fine. I'll just cover it up with some of the paper and you won't even be able to tell that I had it there. So now we're going to score. And I'll make sure I put the right score marks on the score line. I just want to make sure I'm scoring. Yeah. Just make sure I'm scoring the right one. At least I noticed it before I scored, because then that's harder to get the score mark out and to hide it. So there we go. So we got that piece. And this piece is the right score marks. I did not screw anything up here. So we're just going to kind of line this up a little bit. Make sure it's straight. And then fold this one back. Just make sure it's straight before you do any good scoring on it. All right. So now let's get this piece out. And we're going to add our DSP first. And this piece goes right here. Just like so. I just love this little bunny, or big bunny. He's right there. I love this paper. This paper pack. Well, this one. Because of where I cut him, he'll still be there if I put him in order. You don't have to, but, and be mindful when you're cutting this paper that you're cutting it in the right direction. You could have put vegetables back here, but I thought this was just absolutely adorable with these little critters back here. They're like all working in the garden, and then we're going to create the garden in front, like a little fence. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add this piece of designer series, cardstock down. So what I like to do is I like to add this one first, and I just add a bunch of adhesive. You could use liquid glue, whatever. You're going to line up the edge of this with the edge of the brown of the crumb cake and right down to the bottom corner. And you're just going to line that up, put that down like that. And then we're going to just put adhesive on this bottom half right here. So what I like to do now is I like to take my pencil and give this just a tiniest bit of a mark right there. Now I gave it a little darker so maybe you guys could see. So I line this out flat. What that does for me is it lets me know that I don't want to put any adhesive past that mark, so that this will stay down really good. And you don't want to go past the score mark neither. Then you're going to lay this out, and you're going to line this up with the bottom very well in the corner. So we're going to scooch it down. There we go. And lay it down flat. So now our card should fold like that. It's called a Z fold. Do you see the kind of the Z's? So that's called the Z fold. So now what I did was I went ahead and I just stamped. The other day I just stamped a bunch of stuff and I just colored them all. And then after I got done coloring them, I die cutted them. I actually used a scan and cut for these, so I didn't have to crank them all through. So the only thing I cranked through is these little mountains. And then these, I fussy cutted these ones, but the ones I did on there, I did use the scan and cut. So some of these I didn't use. And what I did was I decided I wanted to first take these little mountains, and I'm going to cut them off. Mountains of dirt, I'm calling them. And I cut them off right, so we only have these two parts left, and also where these little where the little your vegetables can stick in. They made it so your vegetables, there's little slots in it. Let me see the little slots, and your vegetables can stick down in there, which is really cute and cool. So the first thing I went ahead and I did was I added this little block right along here, And I'm going to use liquid glue. Now I am using my Sweet Petunias glue pen thing here, but I have the Tombow glue in it. And I'm going to put this right down like this. Oop, my finger was stuck to it, so it wanted to move. There we go. And then I'm going to take another one. Now, when it comes to coloring these brick walls, all I did for the greenery, I used Granny Apple Green on it, and then for the bricks I just used all the gray blends that we have. So I used gray granite, I used smoky slate, I used what was it, pebble path, and basic gray. So I used all the grays that we have in the blends, and I just colored them all. Now when it got to this next spot right here, I added this down. Now I put glue everywhere, but I didn't put a lot of glue up on the mountains where they would be able to stick the flowers in, because I wanted to have, or not the flowers, the vegetables. I wanted the vegetables to be able to be stuck in there. And so I put that on there. And then I'm going to put another one right next to it. So just like this, and I just butted it right up like that. And then I took this last, the last one I had, and I only put a little bit of glue on one end of it because I knew it wasn't going to be able to fit the whole way. And then I added this right here on the end, like that. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut this off right along there, and it looks like I got a little piece hanging, so I'm going to trim that just a little bit there too. Okay, so now I have that part done. So now I wanted to add some vegetables. So here I took, let's see, what do I got? I don't have an extra turnip, but I have, let's see, I have 2 lettuces, so those can go in here. I might have to, do I have an extra turnip? No, I have strawberries. We might have to put strawberries. We'll see. Maybe we'll stamp an extra turnip and I'll color one with you. So then you got to get this little spot. It's hard when it's in there. So what I did was I took my pokey tool and I just kind of like did this on them. It's not that they're stuck down. It's just, you know, it's the paper, the way the paper is. And this just helps lift them. That's why you didn't want to put glue right there. And then we're going to stick these in here. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue right at the bottom. And then some up here to have it stick to the paper. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue and make it stick in just like that. And then I'm going to do that to another one. I'm going to put a little bit of, and a little bit of glue at the top, just like that. And I'm going to stick this one in. So it's like that. And then what are we going to put over here? I think we'll do another beet. I love these little beets. I think they're cute. I just put a little bit of beet on, or a little bit of glue on the back of the beet. And then I'm going to pick this one up, make sure it's, yeah, it's not opened again. It closed on me. Keep it open if you have to push it back a little bit. And then I'm going to stick them in there. Stick them down. There we go. All right. And since we're going to stamp another one, we'll put this off to the side for a minute. I'll bring in this paper that I used for this. Let's get out the little beet here. And a block. Okay. I used black ink. So you'll see that I use black ink here. And then I'm going to stamp him right down, just like that. Bring in my coloring pad. I ended up taking Cherry Cobbler, and I used Granny Apple Light on this. And so I took and I outlined it, the beat with the dark, like so. And then I colored, ooh, I like the other end. And then I colored it in with the light. And then I kind of did the veins, and I did it very, I tried to do it as lightly as I could. And I didn't worry about getting every vein. Sometimes I get concentrating in my videos and then I forget what I'm saying, and I don't know why I do that. I hope you can bear with me. I've always done it. And if you ever have a question because I didn't finish it, you're more than welcome to message me and I'll let you know what I was meaning to say. Sometimes I just get tongue-tied. There we go. And now I'm not going to use the die for this to cut this out. You absolutely could. But because when I did the other ones on my Scan and Cut, I didn't leave a border on these particular ones. So I'm going to fussy cut this, because I don't want the white showing in this particular one. I could have die cutted it out and then cut the white off, but it would just been an extra step. Definitely do not have to do this, neither. How many of you guys out there love beets? I know I absolutely love them. A little butter, a little salt and pepper. Oh. And they're good for you. So there, so now I got it cut out. And I'm going to put a little on the bottom and a little bit on the leaves. Ooh, sorry about that. That was holding a little piece of my camera when I have it sitting back. It's not going to fall. Let me make sure this is still open. Yep. Okay. And then we are going to stick this right down in there, like it's popping out of the, popping out. Here we go. Then I went ahead and I took one of my pots here and I ended up adding Stampin' Dimensionals behind it. And for this, I can't remember everything I colored with. I do know that all the green was done with Granny Apple, except for when I did the peas, I did them with Old Olive. But this here, I did with Cajun Craze. And then I took a little shovel that I have, and I'm going to put a little one on the bottom of this shovel, and then a little bit of glue up on the handle. Like that. And then I just kind of stuck it here like this. And then I took the little bunny, this little bunny here. I do know this bunny is with bubble gum, and then light and dark pecan pie. And then that is Granny Apple Green. And then the pants are done in Boho Blue, light and dark. Or wait, the suspenders are in gray. So I'm trying to remember all the colors that I did use, so that way you guys can redo it if you want. Try not to go too far up on the head like I just did there. Try to keep it down below because the head does stick off. I'm going to have to make sure I didn't get any of that on the other side later. If you do happen to do that, I don't think I have any back there, but if you happen to get glue up past this part, take your finger in some powder or a little bit of the embossing powder, buddy, this here, stab your finger in it and then just put it on the outside of it if you happen to do that. Okay, now we're going to work on this end, and what I did was I put this little bunny here. So I'm only going to put some on the bottom half, and I stuck him down right here. I think he's the cutest. I don't know, he is so cute. And I colored him in Crumb Cake, light and dark. The bow is Granny Apple Light, and his ears are the light bubble bath. So now what we're going to do is we are going to create our basket. Now this was probably the trickiest thing I did, but I ended up getting it to work. And that's why I don't have an extra beat, is because I used it in the basket. So this, we're going to have to put strawberries in here this time instead. Okay, so what I first did was I took the peas and I cut this little stem off it right here. I just cut it right off. And then I cut this stem off right there. So now I have 2 peas. Then I went ahead for the basket and I cut right along this line here, all the way up to the second handle. Then I turned it and I'm cutting out this white part of the handle, and I'm going to come back down and around, and then I'm going to cut off. So if you didn't see that up close, I basically cut that piece out. So now this handle is open like this. Okay, so then the first thing I did was put my peas on. And I just took a little bit of glue and I attached it right next to, I put one in the back a little bit, and then I put this one, so kind of like they're hanging off. And getting this out of the way because I don't want that there, like they're hanging out of the basket, but they're just hanging on. So I did that. Let me see if I zoom this in so you guys can see a little bit better of what I'm doing, and hopefully I keep staying in the camera. So far that's what I've done. The next thing I did was add the cabbage. So I just put a little bit of glue down here on the bottom, and then I'm going to pick this up. Make sure I'm still in the camera. Yep. And I'm going to stick this little guy behind that handle all the way over to the edge and down. It's okay if it sticks out the bottom. If it doesn't, that's fine, but this way it does not, if it does stick off the bottom, we'll just cut it off. Then we're going to take the carrots, and I'm just going to put a little bit on the bottom, and I'm going to tuck it in between the lettuce, because I only put a little glue on the bottom of the lettuce. Then we're going to do the other carrot like this. And we're going to stick the other carrot right in behind the other one. Get it down in there so all that glue is covered. Okay. And up. Got a little bit of glue sticking out there. Okay. And now we're going to put the strawberries. Now I didn't do the strawberries last time, so we got to figure out, okay, I think the strawberries will be cute right there. So we're just going to add a little bit on the bottom of this, like this, and we'll just add them right like that. And then I got this last pea, and I took it and added a little bit, and then I added it right here, like so, and made it look like it was hanging, like there was more hanging in there, and so it was hanging off the basket. So it looks like that. Now the original one, I put a beet in here. I'll show you the original one. Original one, I just have a beet, and that's how I did it. But this one, I have strawberries. So now let me zoom back out. Oh, wrong way. Okay. So now we're going to put this one right here, but we're going to pop it up. So we're going to add some dimensionals on the back. And I think I could put a couple dimensionals up on these strawberries. I don't think, well, I think I'll be alright if I keep them towards the bottom. Just double check your items before you attach them down, just to make sure that they're not gonna hang off on your project, because if it hangs off and then it sticks, it won't open and shut properly. So I think that's good. And then we're just going to move these out of the way. And then we're going to we don't want this to go past the little fold line, so you got to move this over top of your bunny a little bit here, and then we will stick him down. There we go. And then he is on there just like that. So we still have some peas and a few things left here. And now we're going to do the back of this piece. And all I did here was I attached the watering can down like so. Put the watering can here. I went ahead and I took the Smoky Slate Light and I just kind of gave it like a place that it was sitting. I just going across like that. Did I pop this up? I did. Okay. Then I'm going to take one more of these. These are the mini Stampin' Dimensionals. There we go. And then I'm going to cut a very sliver off the outside edge that doesn't have the octagons on it. And I'm going to take this small sliver and get it on there, and I'm going to put it right down the handle. Oops. I looked up to see if I was still in camera, because sometimes I forget to zoom out and stuff. Alright, we got to put it back on here. Okay. There we go. Then we'll put it on here. Hold it. There we go. And then to pick it up, there we go. And then I just put the watering thing right there. And then I'm going to add some strawberries, and I kind of just set them right there. I just glued them down. So we'll add a little bit more glue. And we will glue these right here. Just like this. Now we'll take okay. And we'll add this to the back. And you could stamp your greeting and all that stuff on here for, you know, whatever you're going to say. And then right here, I'm going to take another piece of basic white and black Memento ink. And I took the words Happy Spring. And I stamped it on this thin piece of paper, just like that. And then I am going to fussy cut this out. I just wanted a very tiny piece here because I did not want a huge greeting. I didn't want to cover anything up, any of the paper, or, and I thought this was perfect. It's so tiny. You could change it up. There's if you have the old itty bitty, and I'm sure there's probably a tiny Happy Easter and a bunch of stamps, or you could just say hello if you want to send it to somebody. And then I just went ahead and I added glue, and then I attached it right here above the little pot. And that is how I made this fun little Z-fold card, and then you just fold it to mail it. So there you go, everybody. I'm sorry I didn't show you all the blending and coloring, because if I did, it would be hours. But blend to your heart contents. I think I hit the highlights of everything. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.